Hello, friends, and welcome to Cricket Caviar. Gaurav is with me. Gaurav, we lost the toss in Ranchi, and it was a crucial loss. We were without Bumrah, without Rahul, without Virat Kohli, without Mohammad Shami. All the big names were not there. We have already had four debutants in this series, one less than the series Border Gavaskar Trophy in Australia. But probably by the fifth test, we'll also have Devdutt Padikkal debuting. That the reports are coming in. Now, Gaurav, we were in some positions like after that loss, shocking loss in Hyderabad, where a lead of 173 runs was overturned by England. England were also 113 for 1 in Vizag. They were also 207 for 2 in Rajkot. And here also, they were in lead of by 46 runs. We were actually 219 for 7, or in fact 176 for 7, chasing 353. How do you see this, man? Is this been an iconic series? Like, how do you see this series going? And especially, I think the Ranchi test has to go down as one of the best comebacks, because I was just reading the stats. India has last overturned a lead this big versus West Indies in 2011, and before that, it was in 2007 or something. So it's been some time that we have overturned a good amount of lead and come back to win a test match. And of course, we have to talk about Dhruv Jurel, Kuldeep Yadav, the all-rounder, and all those things. But overall, how do you see this test series now?
I mean, it's been a very fantastic test series to watch, actually. I mean, the great thing about this test series is, I mean, after each day's play, you look forward to the start of the next day's play.
Yeah,
That's what says a lot about this series. Actually, you look forward to the next, what's going to happen in the next day. Next
yeah,
first session is important, or
yeah,
second session is important. So each and every session of this test series has been intriguing to watch as a
yeah,
spectator. uh, there's an uncanny similarities with the Border Gavaskar Trophy last time we toured in
yeah,
Australia. With so many injuries, Virat Kohli taking a paternity leave, so
yeah,
many newcomers coming in,
yeah,
and turn things around. And Rachi was so much similar to Gaba also.
mm,
Gaba, we had a Washington Sundar and a Shardul Thakur partnership, a very crucial one in the first innings,
yeah,
to take the deficit down to only 33. And
mm,
here, Kuldeep Yadav and Dhruv Jurel, and after that, Dhruv Jurel and Akashdeep and Dhruv
Akashdeep.
Jurel and Raj, they put on some really important first innings runs to get the deficit down to 46. And
Yeah,
what an incredible comeback by the Indian bowlers in the second innings.
yeah,
So this is truly a remarkable test win for India,
yeah,
considering the match situation, the pitch conditions, and what a
yeah,
calm head this young lad Jurel had. I mean, he was so calm. The composure he showed as a batsman, even in the toughest of situations, while chasing in the fourth innings on a dodgy pitch, when India was in a lot of spot of bother when
mm,
Sarfaraz got out. The way he handled those two spinners, Hartley and Bashir, and rotating strikes willfully. I mean, he was
mm,
going back when needed, he was coming forward when needed, and taking those singles,
yeah.
and rotating the strike and keep the scoreboard moving in the fourth inning. That was really
Yeah,
refreshing to watch such
I
a young
want to
guy.
ask you, Gaurav, like what actually happened there in the second innings, because I had already called it a Black Monday. I had my memories of Sachin Tendulkar, Chennai 1999, and Rangana Herath, bowling us out after Chandimal's double century in Gaul. And also Barbados, I think was I have not seen that test match, but I know that
I
India got
was that. I was that Babar's life, and the
yeah,
scars are still alive even
yeah,
after 27 years.
yeah.
Even
I
after
mean,
27 years, the
those
scars are
cars
still
just
alive.
flashed back in front of me when I saw that after a start of 84 for 0 in 16 overs, we were suddenly, I don't know how to say that, but we lost 5 wickets quickly, but not that quickly, because 24 overs were also played in between, and Jurel, when he came in, Shubman Gill was stuck on 19 runs of some 66 balls. And it was actually Jurel who hit a boundary after 31 overs. Like 31 overs actually went without a single boundary. And, Indians had gone into a shell totally. How can you explain that phase of, fourth innings chase, that nervous fourth innings chase that we had?
In our times also, you have mentioned the scars of Chennai, or be it Barbados, or the Ranganahara spinning away in Gaul 2015.
Yeah.
So, having watched those matches, the scars are still alive. But also, you got to give it to VVS Lakshman and co. They have pulled up some chases in the past as well. We have chased 270 odd in Sri Lanka to win a test match. VVS, with that famous partnership with Ishant Sharma and Pragyan Oja, in the end pulled off a miraculous win against Australia in the fourth innings chase. So
Mm.
we had fair share of both the results. If you consider the
Mm.
fourth innings record for India in the last few years.
Mm.
So, I mean, as I said before, the refreshing part of Jurel's in his batting was how much calm he was, even under so much stress, so much pressure. Remember, he came into the battling out the hat trick ball. Bashir was in hat trick.
Mm.
Was on a hat trick when he dismissed Sarfaraz and
Jadeja.
Jadeja into successive balls.
Yeah.
So it was not an easy task for a guy who is playing only second test match. But what a
Mm.
brilliant way he batted with the tail, the way he
Mm.
shepherded the tail in the first innings as well. He took his chances when needed. He
Mm.
hit few sixes and got that lead down to 46 in the first innings. That was the game, actually, I thought. Because
Yeah.
I somehow thought that the England got demoralized a bit after Jurel's heroic in the first innings. And the
Mm.
lead could have easily been 150 or 140 in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
first innings.
Yeah.
So, such was the situation in the first innings. So it was incredible knock by Dhruv Jurel in both the innings, and he
Yeah.
deservingly he got the man of the match award. But
Yeah.
one thing I must say, that the Indian bowlers should be also lauded. The
Yeah.
way Ashwin and Kuldeep, especially, I like to mention Kuldeep. Actually,
Mm.
Ashwin definitely took a five for, which
Mm.
was very refreshing because he was having a very bad series till now.
Mm.
But it was Kuldeep who actually turned the game on his head and
Yeah.
dismissing Crawley's and the Stokes and the key
Yeah.
middle order of England, actually.
Because that partnership between Crawley and Root was also flowing well, and they were 110 for three. I think they are 110 for three or something, and they lost seven
Yes,
wickets
they were
for.
103. Then they lost the last seven for
Mm.
35 runs. But
Yeah.
here I would like to say that I don't know whether the people watching this podcast going to agree with me or not. But I thought India was a bit lucky with the Roots dismissal. I think
Okay.
I think that ball was never going to hit the leg stump.
I
It
will
turned.
I'll be the first person to disagree actually, Gaurav, because I think with the angle around the wicket, and they have the data nowadays to determine, because pitching is never umpire's call. So of course it has to be either way, either pitching outside leg or pitching in leg. So I think if the more than 50% of the ball is pitching on the leg stump, because the trajectory there is that was correct, but only doubt was whether it is pitching on the leg stump or outside, because it was round the wicket, and Ashwin had just bowled another ball before that which beat Crawley's outside edge from round the wicket. So he was actually not turning, it was just straightening a little bit. So I think it was fair. And Ben Stokes actually created a lot of pressure on the umpires, talking about that Crawley dismissal in Rajkot. And actually, if you see, umpires were a bit hesitant to give English batsmen out, LBW, but it was a good call, I think, by it was Rod Tucker, I think.
I actually saw a data regarding
Hmm.
umpire's call, and I actually look at it regarding the most beneficiary out of
Hmm.
this umpire's call. And interestingly, the name came up was Ben Stokes. He's having a ball. He's having a ball regarding
And
umpire's call.
even in this match,
He has been
even
the
in this match,
beneficiary of the.
he got the benefit.
Yeah, Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got the maximum number of umpires call in his favor.
yeah,
And that's really shocking. I mean, the guy was talking about umpires call in the previous test match presentation ceremony, and now
yeah.
when I looked at the data, and it was really surprising to find out
And
Ben
and
Stokes having the
Gaurav,
ball.
in India got at the wrong end of the umpire's call 4 times in the first innings. If you
Yeah,
see that
that is the most for a
most,
side
yeah,
in an innings. I mean,
and
four
that Ashwin
dismissals of
dismissal.
umpires call.
If you see the Ashwin's dismissal, you can call it was a justice, because that dismissal by Hartley, I think, that also looked not out to the naked eye, but
Yes,
somehow,
yes, it looked not
yeah,
out to me as well. Gill, it looked out, but Patidar was also a bit iffy to me in the first
yeah,
innings.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Patidar also ball turned quite a bit. The problem which I had with the root dismissal was that ball actually hit a crack. And with
yeah.
the crack, it suddenly, I thought that ball was turning a bit more than what the DRS assumed.
Right.
But I mean, let's give it that way. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
we have
think the
seen
Pope dismissal was even more. I think that was even more, doubtful, I will say.
the name Pope coming up. Pope is a very unique kind of a batsman. And whenever I see Ollie Pope coming onto the bat, whether be it he got 100 in the previous innings or a double hundred in the previous innings, he always looks like a number 11 starting an innings. I mean, he
Hmm.
always looks
Yeah,
really
he's got
flashy at the start of the innings.
double ducks in. I mean, he got two ducks in this match. So I don't
Yeah,
know
he got
what.
a pair.
Yeah,
He
and
got a pair in the system.
he's matching our Rajat Patidar for in terms of low scores, because Rajat Patidar has been another story. Like, this series is following a tangent, and Patidar is following the opposite tangent in terms of the number of chances he has been given. And like, we have been actually calling for Washington Sundar selection since Vizag, but of course,
And
management is back.
Washington's not going to play the Dharamshala test match as of
Yeah,
now
yeah,
because he's been released from the squad to play the Ranji Trophy semi-final against Mumbai, Tamil Nadu
yeah.
match. So he's not going to be available for the Dharamshala game either. But let's say for Patidar, I think he got 3 test matches on the trot. I mean, today's modern Indian cricket in test matches, you don't get so many chances to showcase your talent. Look at Dhruv Jurel, how he fared in
Mm.
the 2 test matches he played. Even
Yeah,
Sarfaraz having a poor test match at Ranchi, he showed a glimpse of his class in the Rajkot test.
yeah,
So Patidar has been really lucky to say the least. That he got 3 test matches on the trot, 6 innings, but he failed to actually flatter actually in
yeah,
terms of his batting.
yeah. And amazing stuff by India. I mean, I watched a web series, Breaking Bad. So, like, the main character was a timid high school teacher, and he becomes a drug mafia boss by the end of that series. So it's like India is growing from Hyderabad, who in Hyderabad, India looked absolutely shocked at baseball. Like, they couldn't handle baseball, and slowly, like, after that, the wins have come, and they've come by some margin also. So I think
And twice the third day actually became a very
yeah,
critical for the
yeah,
English side. In
yeah,
Rajkot, the third day, they went on to the third day with 207 for 2, with
yeah,
Ashwin having the news that Ashwin is not going to play
yeah,
further in that test match. And India were at the mercy
yeah,
because on a flat surface, I thought India didn't get much what was needed on that surface to get a 500 or a 600 kind of a total. And Ben Duckett was playing a fantastic knock, but they turned it around in Rajkot. Similarly, they turned it around here at the Ranchi when end of the second day's play when Root was having a chat with the media, and he said that they were really up for it because with so much of a lead around 134, they were ahead with only just 3 wickets in hand. But somehow, when Dhruv Jurel and that miraculous comeback, and somehow the wickets actually played very well in the first session, at least for an hour. The wickets seem to have played really well in Ranchi. The low bounce didn't came into the equation in the first hour of the test match in the everyday morning. Actually, after that the wickets started to show its tricks after the
mm,
first hour. Maybe a roller effect or the coolness in the weather. Maybe
mm,
I don't know. Maybe those
yeah.
sort of effect having an effect on the pitch itself.
Actually, the pitches have been generally good, and this was actually the slowest pitch, I think, because we saw Kuldeep Yadav bowling like a fast bowler, also like running very fast and trying to bowl fast. So the pitches have been like
Well,
uh, com-
this Ranchi wicket actually was very good till the only problem was that low bounce. Suddenly, a shooter is on the way to you
yeah,
to get you
cracks
out.
cracks had opened up, and the cloudy weather
Crack
actually
is
helped
open.
the cracks to remain intact to some
Yes,
extent. But
yes,
after that,
yes.
yeah,
4 days. That's why it went on to the fourth day. So,
yeah,
thanks to the weather condition in Ranchi, it was overcast throughout the test match, and so it actually kept the wicket. Otherwise, who knows? It could have been a 2 day test match on
yeah.
the cards with the sun beating down.
Now we are moving to Dharamshala, Gaurav. What do you see? Like, I think, uh, what do you see? What are your expectations? It's a dead rubber anyway. So, but the series has
See,
been great.
in modern day cricket, there is nothing called dead rubber because you are always playing for that WTC final
Yeah,
spot. So with 12 points on offer, you
yeah,
have to get that 12 points. Who knows what's going to happen in future in
yeah,
another series? So
yeah,
that 12 points going to be vital. I see couple of changes. I don't know. I have to look at the Dharamshala. Dharamshala going to be cool conditions,
yeah,
but I mean India may go with three seamers as well. I mean who knows?
yeah,
They may
yeah.
drop one spinner and go with three seam bowling option with I think Bumrah, Siraj, and Akashdeep.
And
So they may
yeah,
go with three seaming options.
and
I think they will.
Ashwin is
Ashwin
going
definitely
to
going to play 100 test
play
matches. It's an incredible feat.
100 test.
Even
Yeah. It's
100
been the
test is an
milestone
incredible
series for
feat.
Ashwin with all the drama, like he personal family emergency that he had to
500
face.
wickets, 500 wickets, and
Uh,
playing his 100 test matches. We also going to have to take into account that this is going to be 100 test for Johnny Bairstow as well.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's already
It's
Ben Stokes played his 100 test match at Rajkot. So this has been as you said, it's a milestone series for all
Yeah,
actually.
it's been actually, I'm surprised by how many test matches English players have played. Actually, if you see, there was a stat on Cricket Info that the ratio of England test caps and India test caps, it's actually the highest when the lower test cap team has won the test series. So it's one of that kind of series where the new and upcoming cricketers have got better of vintage cricketers. Uh, yeah, that I think three of the test matches were included in that top five list. So Vizag, Rajkot, and Ranchi, all three test matches had a ratio of above two. Because Johnny Bairstow has played 100. You have Jimmy Anderson obviously playing so many test matches. So Stokes, Root also more than 135 test matches now, and
I
it's
can
been
see, I
incredible.
can see all, I can see this fellow Markwood coming back into the English squad.
Yeah,
Definitely, Jimmy Anderson has to play because he
yeah,
got this break between the fourth and fifth test. So Jimmy Anderson has to play in Dharamshala. Bit
mm,
disappointed with Ollie Robinson. He was down with his pace. He was
yeah,
bowling mid 120s. He's not. He didn't look like a guy who was having a good rhythm in his bowling. And
yeah,
otherwise, Ollie Robinson is a very good customer with the red
yeah,
cherry. He
yeah.
swings the ball. He's very accurate, but somehow he looked listless in this test match as a
Yeah.
bowler.
Do you see Padikkal replacing Patidar, or will you give another? Do you think
Yeah, I
Patidar is
mean,
going to
there's
get?
something going to happen with Patidar. I think, let's be honest, he has been looked, I mean, like a, I mean, fish out of water.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think that guy actually lacked confidence. You can
yeah,
feel that with his body language while coming into the bat during the fourth
yeah,
innings of that test match.
yeah,
The way he was plunging his front foot and the way he was playing, he just always looked like getting out anytime, and which he
yeah.
did
He,
eventually.
Actually, I think after
So
that second innings dismissal in Vizag, he looked very good in the first innings, but after that, his confidence has been plummeting down, and he's looked lazy at times also. I mean, he's just not putting his bat down at the correct time. Bashir is bowling fast, Hartley is bowling fast. They are firing those balls. He needs to, get the timing of his, and he has some flair kind of backlift. It's not he's not just putting the bat down in time to handle that kind of bowling. And
So
you
I
know,
think that that place I think needs to be changed. I guess. I mean,
yeah,
that's going to happen as well. I guess.
yeah,
So uh, let's see. I would have actually hoped for Virat Kohli a comeback in this Test match. I think it would have
yeah,
been better had he come back into the Test because there is no Test matches for Virat Kohli to play till end of this year.
yeah, yeah. And
So
Gaurav, there is also
long
one
time.
more thing I just wanted to check on. So Bashir and Hartley, actually, there has been a perception that Bashir and Hartley have outbowled Indian spinners in this series, except for maybe the second innings, they've actually bowled much better. And despite that, we are leading the series 3-1 because their spinners have actually been on the money. But still, somehow we find ourselves, because of some individual brilliant performances by Jaiswal, Jurel, Rohit Sharma at times. We find, and Gill, not to forget, he has also been resolute. So we have been able to find this series win. But how do you see that? Because Indian spinners, normally we expect us to give us 3-day, 4-day wins, but they've not been
It's a
able
kind
to.
of a misleading stat. I mean, I looked at the stats and clearly it shows the average wise. I think Indian spinners have been better than the English spinners. I think,
That was maybe after the third test. The fourth test it has changed, because before that it was
yeah.
hmm,
So I think it's kind of misleading. Yes, the Jadejas and the Ashwins not having their A series in terms of the bowling numbers.
yeah,
But I mean, the flag bearer of the spin bowling department in this series for India has been Kuldeep Yadav. I mean, he's been brilliant.
yeah,
I mean, apart from third test, second evening, when
yeah,
Ben Duckett got those runs, Kuldeep has
yeah,
been absolutely immaculate in all the times he bowled for
yeah,
in this series. So he's definitely been our best spinners in the best spinner in this series, followed by
yeah.
Jadeja. Ashwin, I think I heard him talking about some issues with his knees.
Me, yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so so I think which maybe I mean bothering him in terms of getting the efficiency also.
yes,
It may have bothered him. But I think the one mistakes I thought Rohit Sharma was making throughout the series was not having Ravi Chandran Ashwin bowl with the new ball.
yeah,
And the moment he rectified that mistake in Ranchi in second innings, and he
yeah.
he showed his class because Ashwin with the new ball is a different kind of a beast we have
And
seen in the past.
one of the commentator also said, once Ashwin picks the wicket with the new ball early into his spell, he is a different beast altogether, because he gets that domination over the batsman. He feels that he can, run rounds.
And we also look at the matchups also because his record against Ben Duckett has been excellent
Yeah,
so far. So having a go at Ben Duckett early innings is always a, I mean, fair idea, fair kind of a bet also. I mean,
mm,
you can always take a punt on that Ashwin having better of Ben Duckett early in his innings, which I mean, I don't know what Rohit Sharma thought throughout this Test series. I think Ashwin didn't bowl with the new ball. Otherwise, in subcontinent conditions, so we always started with one fast bowler in one end and another with Ravichandran Ashwin in the other end. So,
yeah,
so this has been a really surprising for me. But I think he rectified that in the Ranchi when the and it was absolutely paramount for him to start with Ashwin
yeah.
to get some early wickets, which he did eventually.
And also our fast bowlers have been great. Actually, they've been better than England, because Akashdeep came in. He made those early breakthroughs, even with a heartbreaking start. Getting Crawley bowled on a no ball. Then he comes back and makes that India session, the first day, first morning session. And
Yeah, bit
Siraj
of a
has
moisture actually helped him. Bit of a moisture on the track actually helped him.
yeah,
Whatever help for the fast bowlers was there on the first session of the test itself. So
yeah,
and hats off to Akashdeep the way he utilized that advantage to his benefit. The
yeah,
way he got those three dismissals on the first day, first session. So
Yeah.
it was good for him that
Yeah.
the way he bowled.
And he was
But
good. He
I
was
think I thought
having good pace also. I mean, he got through the defense. He got through the back defense.
yeah, 140 was close to 140 or so.
Hmm.
But I thought Siraj was not up to the mark in this test match. I mean, he was
Hmm.
quite brilliant in the last test at Rajkot, but this test it was bit off radar.
I think Siraj came back well after that Joe Root and Ben Foakes partnership, which had there was a
Yeah, that
wicketless
one
session.
spell actually, that one spell with the reverse swing he bowled
Rev-
did really bowl well to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
those two wickets. He got
yeah,
first got Ben Fox out, then got Hardy bowled.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
the only time in the test match that Siraj actually looked like
Hmm.
getting wickets, and he bowled really well. Apart
Hmm.
from that, he was quite disappointing with the new ball as well in the first innings of the England in this test. So I think Siraj needs to work on this. The problem with Siraj is bit of inconsistency in his
Hmm.
bowling. I mean, whenever he gets wickets, he goes on to a roll like I mean, the blown away the Sri Lankans twice in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So like that. So he needs to work on that.
But the overall, like I would say, Bumrah winning us one test match from his own bowling, and Siraj and Akashdeep again contributing in this win. Overall, I think, and Siraj also had that collapse in Rajkot where you know
Yes, he
they,
was instrumental. 4 for 84. He bowled really
yeah,
well in that Rajkot test
yeah.
match.
So overall, I think we have outdone them in the fast bowling department. We have outdone England.
I think 3-1 is a fair result as of
Fair
now.
is, yeah.
3-1, I mean, before this Ranchi Test match, we could have said that India should have been 3-0 up
Hmm.
had they not slipped in the
Yeah,
Hyderabad Test match. But
yeah.
I think 3-1 seems a fair result because in this Ranchi
England,
Test match, I think this is the Test match England should have won.
India stole this
India came
test.
from behind. Yeah, India
Yeah,
stole this test like how they England stole the first test from
test
India,
in Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. So
Yeah,
then
and
3-1 seems a fair results.
Gaurav, I told you, like, I would just want to show off a bit because I told you before the match started that we'll win this test match because, I knew somehow
Someone is
I was
not
getting
playing.
this factor of KL
Someone is not
Rahul's
playing.
absence. Of course, it's a big miss because he's a very talented player, but somehow I was getting this team has that spirit to, fight without Virat and KL because I've seen that a little bit in that GABA and MCG test, that Sydney test. So what do you have to say about that? I mean, uh, should India always play with debutants, or is this now a pattern
I
to win
mean,
iconic
this,
series?
yeah, but then Virat Kohli needs to be a father every now and then, which is not possible. Now he's got two already. So, I mean, and iconic series don't come every day. So it takes
Yeah,
time.
it
I think
takes
this has been
Virat to be a father and KL Rahul
it
to
takes
find a
Virat Kohli
mysterious
to a
injury.
father.
By the way, Gaurav, I wanted to ask you about just before we close. I just wanted to ask you about Ishan Kishan and Shreyas Iyer getting out of the BCCI good books, and they've been not offered central contracts. What's your take on it?
Yeah, this is absolutely good. Hats
Because
off
I
to
read a
BCCI
post by
for.
your friend Joy Bhattacharya who didn't agree with BCCI, so I want to.
Yeah, Joyda didn't agree, but I'd like to
Hmm,
differ here because
yeah,
when you are playing for India, I mean, you cannot go against an institution or
yeah,
organization you are representing. At
yeah,
least when you are free, I mean, the big players have played Ranji Trophy cricket. The Ganguly
yeah,
played Ranji Trophy cricket to make a comeback. Sehwag did.
yeah.
All those big guns played Ranji Trophy cricket.
Sachin
Yuvraj
also was
Singh did.
playing at that level.
Yeah,
I
Sachin
remember
was leading. Sachin
Haryana,
played that first class game at Haryana in Lali. His for last
Lali.
first class game before the
Yeah.
he retired, and those people have played Ranji Trophy cricket whenever they got time.
Hmm.
The thing is that the Rohit talked about in the press conference that जिसके अंदर भूख नहीं है वो
Hmm.
देख के पता चल जाता है. The people who doesn't have this hunger, I mean, it's quite reflective the way they go about things. So
Hmm.
I think it's time to take a serious step, and I thank BCCI for doing such things. And
Hmm.
also, I've got news that Hardik Pandya also agreed to be part of domestic white
Yeah.
ball competitions whenever he is not representing India. I mean, this is a really good. I think one thing it shows that BCCI actually now is desperate to win ICC trophy. I mean,
Hmm.
they're damn serious now. I mean, I mean, gone are the days that
Hmm.
you are being a superstar, you can get away with things, but
Hmm.
not anymore. I think this is a very good step. I mean, I think must do with the management
Hmm.
as well, the
Hmm.
selectors with Ajit Agarkar in charge. I think they have done a great job in this regard, I guess.
Yeah,
And also,
but there will
I
be
heard
many
that.
critics, Gaurav, who will call this a rigidity of BCCI because already we are not playing, we are not allowing players to play other leagues like Big Bash League or whatever leagues,
No,
and
but
now we
what's
are.
the point of it? I mean, it's not that these things happen drastically. I
Hmm.
mean, they have been told quite a number of times to go and play for their Ranji teams.
Hmm.
Shreyas Iyer and Ishan Kishan has been told several times to go and
Hmm.
represent their state
Hmm.
teams, and which
Hmm.
they willfully ignored. I mean, if you ignore such calls, I remember last year also during a Dilip Trophy match or so, I mean, Ishan Kishan withdrew from that competition. And I was really surprised when he went to West Indies and play those couple of test matches, because I think he need to play domestic red ball cricket to be selected for Indian red ball
Hmm.
side. So I think they have taken things for granted. They're both very talented guys, especially
Hmm.
Shreyas Iyer.
Shares
I
again.
think
Yeah.
I think this should spur him up and
Yeah.
play well
He's
in
now
their
going
whatever.
to play the semi-final. The
Yeah,
semi-final
of
at
course, they
Mumbai.
get runs, and show the world. And I mean,
Yeah.
what a player he is, and he's actually very important player for India's one-day scheme of things. So
Yeah,
he
I
scored
mean, he carried
530 odd
that
runs for
team to
India.
World Cup. I mean, along with Virat Kohli, he carried
Yeah,
the
he
team
got a 70 ball 100 in the World Cup semi-final. So
semi-final.
he got
Absolutely neutralized
530 odd runs,
knockout pressure.
200.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, so he's a very
mm,
important player in India's scheme of things in terms of
yeah,
one-day cricket.
yeah,
So I think this will spur them up, and
yeah.
if they want to be
And
remembered as good
and
cricketers in
also,
future,
Gaurav,
they.
I will say a little bit thing, and maybe a bit controversial, but I think there are some also, like you mentioned, Hardik Pandya. He's not been asked to play Ranji Trophy because he has those injury issues, and everyone knows it's so well
But he has
publicized.
been asked to play the domestic white ball competitions.
Yeah, that's true. But also, if you see Shreyas Iyer and if you compare Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul's case, now Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul both were cleared by NCA. Like KL was also told that you will play the Rajkot test. But both actually complained of discomfort. Like both had some discomforts. But I think Shreyas was dealt more harshly than KL. That's also I felt that was a bit biased in terms of KL cricket.
Attitude also matters.
Hmm.
I think here comes the attitude part. I think
Hmm.
team management must have seen something
Because he
with
went to
Shreyas and
KKR camp.
Ishan.
That was the reason I think
Yes, he went to
they got
KKR
angry.
camp and all those things you're having. But we see,
Hmm.
look what happened with KL. KL traveled to London to see his doctor who actually operated
Yeah,
him last year
yeah,
to tackle these issues. And he might miss first half of the IPL as well, KL Rahul.
hmm,
So,
hmm,
so I think KL's injury is a bit serious, uh,
hmm,
and uh, and Shreyas looks the same Shreyas Iyer without much practice. He was brought back into the side straight away into the Asia Cup squad, and he
hmm,
played that Pakistan game. He failed, and Ishan
hmm,
Kishan got runs. Then there was this talk about who is going to be dropped, and then KL Rahul comes. He gets 100 against Pakistan, and
hmm.
there is this conundrum, and both of them, KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer, batted in the middle order for India
Yeah,
in the World Cup, and both of them played really well throughout the World Cup.
yeah.
So, um,
I mean, Shreyas
yes,
was
I
just
mean,
incredible. He was the pillar, I think, for
Great was
me.
just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Even Rahul. I mean, apart from that knock in the final
Hmm,
World Cup final, which mid term
Yeah,
is a
he
bit
played that
defensive
knock
in this
against
game.
first match Australia. That knock was good
First match
under
also, he
pressure.
was terrific. He was terrific. And
Yeah,
whenever he came into the bat in whatever situation, he batted really well, Kale. So,
yeah,
I mean, teams management must have seen something with Shreyas Iyer's hunger. I
mm,
mean, otherwise Rohit Sharma wouldn't have said those words in press conference. They जिसके अंदर भूख नहीं है, hunger नहीं है, वो देख के
mm,
पता चल जाता है. And being a
mm,
fellow Mumbaiker, he must have seen. I mean, otherwise, even
mm,
Ajit Agarkar helped for Mumbai, no? So,
yeah,
I mean, there must be something wrong with
mm,
Shreyas. Otherwise,
mm,
people wouldn't have reacted the way they did. I think
mm,
I know that for several times they've been told to play domestic matches
mm,
for their respective states, which
yeah.
the call they willfully ignored.
Yeah, I
Willfully
mean,
ignored.
I
So,
totally agree with your viewpoint, Gaurav, because in a country of 1 crore people, 130 crore people, where 1 crore people are into cricket, playing cricket, and trying to fight for that spot, you can't be just, taking it so casually. Uh,
yeah,
you
it
know,
wasn't casual.
each test
I
match
mean, I
can define your.
last time I heard about Ishan Kishan was that he is having mental issues. Then he
Yeah.
went to Dubai having parties and all, and then came back and
Mm,
didn't play a match at all. And
mm,
nobody knows whereabouts of Ishan Kishan and what's he going to do.
mm,
So if he's not willing to play anymore, then
mm,
what can BCCI do here? Otherwise, to pull him off of central contact. Look, Rishabh Pant is there. Rishabh
yeah,
Pant is not going to play in this contact cycle. He's
yeah,
not going to play for India, but he's there because we all know what. I mean, this is unfortunate accident happened to Rishabh, and he's
yeah,
on the way to come back. He maybe playing those Boda Gavaskar Trophy Test matches at the end of this year in Australia. He'll
yeah,
be fit by then.
yeah, yeah,
So I think, yeah, but I mean, hats off to BCCI. I think they are pretty serious now, right now about winning trophies. I mean, there's been
yeah,
11 years drought, and I
yeah,
think they are taking it a bit seriously right now. That says something going to be right about. I mean, taking the Indian cricket's legacy forever. I mean, forward. So we need to win some trophies. No, there's no
yeah,
point of having win in bilateral series. We need to show some trophies as well for our success. So it's a very
yeah,
good step. I think BCCI should be lauded for this kind of a step.
yeah. Thanks, Gaurav. That was awesome talking to you and discussing this series as well as the central contracts. Let's see what happens in Dharamshala, and we'll have a break after that and the IPL to start.
And also
So,
we'll look at how things